weddings. And this is how I was like slowly dragged, like this river of life took me into wedding photography. And my first wedding, oh, it was a disaster, guys. I don't know what was your experience, but mine was like a complete disaster. A bride was crying for the whole day. They burnt her veil when they were ironing it. You can imagine, right?
Oh my
and
God.
It's your first wedding, and you come and you try to really survive through this. She was arguing with the groom. So like I literally was counting my minutes to the end of the day. And then in the end of the day, the funniest moment of my career was when she came. She thanked me so much. She said, "You made our day so wonderful." And she asked, "Diana, can you like actually Photoshop my face so I'm smiling in the pictures?" And then I promised myself never again in wedding photography. But at the same time, this kind of challenge actually, I don't know, it's like a drug. When you start doing wedding photography, all out there, you guys, you might really, I think you feel me. You just can't do anything else. It's so attractive and so challenging and beautiful at the same time.
That's such a personal story. And for some people, that would be the end of their career, but you decided like that's actually it. Later on, you moved to the luxury segment. Can you tell me what drew you to this specific niche and how did you make this entry?
Of course, there are two ways of looking at this. First is, I think it's my personality, and being honest, I'm never quite satisfied with what I'm doing. And I always compare myself with someone else out there with a better results, better pictures, shooting in better locations. Being honest, even now, I try to fight it, but it's something subconscious. And when I was invited to those mostly like Ukrainian expats weddings, they were usually like being done somewhere in the outskirts of London, like not the nicest places, not the best dresses. And then I obviously saw lots of magazine pictures, lots of, I don't know, like cinematic like photo shoots. And I actually wanted to own the pictures like those, but I wanted to create them, you know? And this is how I understood that I won't be satisfied staying at the same level. And I slowly started to step by step go in the direction of which I thought is the right one. I took the wrong path so many times. I wasted lots of opportunities and time because sometimes I wasn't confident enough, or I didn't know what to do, or there are lots of things when, as a creative, as an artist, you feel. You're just literally feel lost. And when you're looking back at yourself, making those steps, sometimes I don't believe I actually made it to this point. And being honest, that's why I created my course from pro to top wedding photographer, because for you guys, I really want to make this path as smooth as possible and as short as possible.
What was the game changer for you? What was this thing, this key action that unlocked the luxury segment for you?
I think it's difficult to choose only one, but there are like the steps when you jump to a certain point, you know that there is no way back and you're already on the next level. I think first it was the understanding that I don't want to work in the same places I was already like working in. For example, if I was invited to a wedding in one, I don't know, castle in the UK, I didn't just invest everything just to come back there. I was trying to expand myself to other opportunities. Actually, I was investing in my offline presence, in online presence. I was taking parts in the wedding fairs, meeting through different opportunities, wedding planners or other vendors, trying to spread the word about myself. So it's difficult to choose like one particular event, but I don't know. Probably it's changing my colors on Instagram. I think that was the break point. It was in somewhere in 2020 when the COVID outbreak. I just decided that if I don't change my color palette right now of my Instagram grid, you guys can scroll through my Instagram to 2019 and you'll see it's a different color. And then like during COVID, I thought I have time and I need to invest it in myself, and I studied. But I don't know, it's just one of the steps. Like we can talk about each of them, but it would take hours.
It was just a stepping stone to move to a more elevated positioning, which you saw that it started to work, that it started to bring in the results.
Yes, and I think deep down, all of us, we know how much this kind of work does cost in the world of wedding photography, like business-wise. For example, I can look at the profile of one of the photographers, I don't know, like any photographer, and say that this one would work in the range from 1,500 to 2,000, for example, or this one is definitely above 10,000 per day for one wedding photo shoot. So it's even if you make one step away from yourself and just try to be objective, you can assess your work.
Sure. Let's come back to the industry and talk about the industry in general. There is a lot of talk that people are getting married less and the demand for wedding photography is shrinking and eventually will die. And I want to know what's your take on this. What is your approach?
I agree and disagree with that. So we've seen like wedding industry like going for like a long sleep during the COVID. And then on a personal level, I understand it very much because my own wedding was postponed. We planned to do it in 2022, but then because of the war in Ukraine, we started like to postpone everything that wasn't essential for us during these times. So yes, I understand that we live in turbulent times, but at the same time, I think people start to value their moments and their time with each other much more. And it means that if they decide to get married, they go really bold on it. They choose the vendors they want to work with. I think they start to less compromise on the quality over the quantity or the price. I see the couples who choose the photographers who really inspire them on both professional and personal level. So I'd say if you guys are thinking of growing, like making a step towards becoming like this elite photographer, I don't know if it's even the right word, but if you want to go in this particular segment of weddings that you dream about, it's the right time to do it.
So what you're saying, I just summarize that it's true that demand is shrinking. It's true that less people are getting married, but instead the weddings are rising in prices.
Yes,
the wedding become more as a luxury event of the people's life,
yes.
And people tend to spend more. People tend to personalize their experiences.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. They personalize it on all the levels, and wedding photography is one of the key elements.
I see. And photography is like one of the biggest element of the wedding, right? Like if I would be organizing a wedding right now, I will spend a lot of money and a lot of time to invest in a wedding photographer, because I understand that these are the memories that I will have throughout my whole life. These are the memories that I will pass to the generations of my my grandsons, and I would really allocate a lot of time into choosing the right person. And my question with regards to that, how to become not one of the many, but the one photographer?
Good question, and one of the most difficult to answer, because it's a combination of factors, right? First of all, you have to be professional. By saying professional, we as photographers normally think we should know lots of techniques or be familiar with different types of lenses, or I don't know, like know how to use flash, and that's completely right. But at the same time, I think there is much more than that, and we're talking about soft skills. Because my personal journey was connected from to moving countries and to trying to understand people not through the language, but sometimes through like on a deeper empathetic level, I think that most of us, we normally don't say what we feel, or we try to somehow hide it.